One's a Chiefs fan, the other's a Pats fan, and together they make Primetime Dimes.
What's up, my fellow football fanatics? Welcome back to episode 17 of Primetime Dimes, your weekly source for surviving the off-season and breaking down the headlines during the season. I'm one of your hosts, Megan, and with me, as always, is Chelsea.
Hi.
Yeah, Chelsea, you're not really with me today, eh? No camera. Good old technical.
Just my voice.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Chelsea's camera is not connecting to Discord for whatever reason, no matter what we've tried.
I tried 2 different computers. I closed the program. I opened the program. I tried the program on the browser. It just doesn't. I don't know if it's my face, and I don't know what it is. But it was working one week, and now it's not.
Hey, anyone and everyone who listens has experienced some difficulties with technology, and that happens.
Hopefully next week my camera will decide to work again and you will be able to see my face, but for now it will be a mystery.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm battling a camera that doesn't want to stay on all the time right now, which is interesting. But this week's your favorite week. It's college week.
I wish you guys could see the smile on my face. I'm so fucking excited.
Well, yeah. And we got quite a big show in store for you guys. Hopefully we can get you all caught up because football starts on Saturday. So the most important 2 pieces of news that have happened leading into the season was that the Fiesta Bowl actually announced a multi-year partnership with sports betting groups, you know, that we talked about a few months back, Caesars Entertainment. And this is per ESPN. So the organization announced the deal on Monday, and it's the first partnership between a college bowl game and a company that specializes in sports betting. And sports betting is set to become legal in Arizona on September 9th. So all of this just kind of was like a very nice melting pot. Like everything just kind of came up and came together really nicely, and it's really cool to see sports betting and these companies getting a chance to partner up.
Makes sense. They're both in the same industry.
Exactly. And it's like, yeah, they're gambling. There are, of course, issues with gambling.
I don't want to watch the All-State Sugar Bowl. I want to watch the Caesars Entertainment Fiesta Bowl, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool branding opportunity, but I just thought it was worth mentioning because I know personally I actually always associate All-State with one of the bowl games.
It's the Sugar Bowl, All-State Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, so it's actually just occurred to me that it might actually throw me slightly hearing it be called the Caesars Entertainment. But I'm all for it.
I think it used to be I think PlayStation had the Fiesta Bowl before.
Oh.
I think it was the PlayStation. I could be wrong.
Sony, sad. I love Go PlayStation.
Yeah, but Fiesta Bowl sponsor. Okay,
it's interesting.
Entertainment now.
It's not going to be the first time we see, or the last time we see a sports betting group become partners with an NFL or a CFB type team. So it's just something we're going to have a chance to watch develop.
I was right. It used to be the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl since 2016. So I guess it's ended and they decided to partner with Caesars Entertainment, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah. And then another piece of major news heading into the college season is the fact that both Texas and Oklahoma are moving to the SEC. So this actually brings me to an article published by Forbes. So both the Texas and Oklahoma boards of regents voted unanimously on the date to join the SEC. So everyone agreed that it was time to move over to the SEC. The move means that the SEC will have 9 of the 12 most valuable college football programs, which will generate far more money than any other collegiate sport, while the Big 12 will be left without a single member among the 25 most valuable programs. Texas had ranked the second most valuable college football program with $147 million, and average annual revenue on Forbes' most recent College Football's Most Valuable Teams list, released in 2019, while Oklahoma placed sixth with $129 million in average annual revenue. Wow, didn't realize that was how much those two teams were making. Now, the SEC will become the biggest conference in the NCAA's Division I when Texas and Oklahoma join at 16 total teams, with two programs bringing even more money and prestige to a conference always widely considered as the top college sports league. So Texas and Oklahoma will start competing in the SEC after the university's Big 12 media contracts expire in 2025. So it's still a couple years off, but it's worth mentioning because that's 16 teams in one league. And correct me if I'm, or one conference. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do they play each other at least once? And like everyone?
I think they'll end up playing half of the conference once, but I wish you could see my face right now because you calling the SEC the SEC is how I feel. I now know how you feel when I call the NCAA the NCAA. Like I'm freaking laughing my pants off right now. I've never heard someone call it the SEC before. It's always been referred to as the SEC.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I think I was
reading. Don't be mean.
That they'll probably end up playing. I'm sorry. I just couldn't stop laughing. I love you though. I think I was reading somewhere where they're only gonna end up playing like half the conference, so I don't understand I don't know how that's gonna work for like a conference championship if they're not even playing everyone. I'm gonna have to dig into that a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure they're going to end up playing only about half the teams.
Oh, okay, well, that's annoying. That's just annoying.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about these two joining the SEC?
I don't like it. I think it was a good move for both of them. That conference, like you said, it brings in a lot of money. Oklahoma and Texas themselves both bring in a lot of money themselves. So it's going to be a huge conference. But now you have, like I was the same article, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, but 9 of the 12 most valuable college football programs are now in the SEC. 9 of 12. The SEC is probably bringing in the most money out of all of the conferences, and it's going to grow even more with that move. So I think it was a great move for those two teams. However, I don't like where this is going, where now, people are starting to call out, like a super league within a league kind of thing. And I mean, everyone, if you're a fan of an SEC team, you think the SEC is superior. If you're a fan of a Big 12 team, you think the Big 12 is superior. It's all the same. But I think out of all of them, the SEC fans believe it most, and they're probably right. It's the biggest.
Of course they're right.
Probably the best. It's probably one of the best conferences to watch if you're just gonna follow one. It's got, like I said, 9 of the 12 most valuable teams, biggest teams are in that conference. So I think it's going to bring the SEC more viewership, which I didn't really need before. I'm not too sure. I'm not a fan of more teams joining an already big conference. I am a fan of Oklahoma and Texas moving into the SEC, though.
Why are you happy with them moving into the SEC?
I think it'll be a better challenge for them. I think it'll be more, I don't know, I'm just like sick of Texas always playing Texas.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? So I don't know. I just personally think it was a good move for just those programs. They're in a better, bigger conference. They'll probably be able to pull better, bigger recruitments.
Yeah, do you think Oklahoma and Texas were actually struggling to bring in recruits though? Because if you think about it, they're still ranked high in the polls in general, at least Oklahoma of recent, and then Texas. I mean, everyone knows who the Longhorns are at the end of the day. So were they really struggling?
This feels just like a money move to me, to be perfectly honest.
Absolutely. It's greed.
I'm just trying to think, there wasn't really a big reason for them to leave other than, everyone thinks the SEC is better, so you want to be in the better conference. And unlike the NFL, you can just fucking willy-nilly ask to move and a board votes on it.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
So there's you'll see this a lot, whereas, with last year's season, because Notre Dame was quote-unquote independent.
Oh, yeah.
rules for the COVID season where you're only allowed to play people in your conference up until the playoffs. They had to put them in a conference. So now they've just kind of been lumped in with the ACC, and they're going to continue to play in the ACC, but they might move around again. So these conferences aren't set in stone, I guess is what I'm trying to get at, which is also annoying and makes it a lot harder to kind of predict how things are going to go, because now they're going to be playing a completely different set of teams than they would have played in their old conference. So
yeah, that's true. But 2025 is so far away. Unlike the college football season that starts on Saturday. How excited are you?
Yeah.
How excited are you?
Let's go.
So I thought I thought your most excited game would be getting to see Clemson take the field for the first time this season, because as a Pats fan, it's what I look forward to every single year. And you love your Tigers. And I'm looking forward to my Sooners taking the field, but we'll talk a lot about Rattler later on. What game are you actually most excited for, and why?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'd probably be excited for the Clemson game if they're playing anyone but Georgia, because Georgia and Clemson are like the two college football sweaters I have.
Oh.
Like those are my, like if it wasn't Clemson, it was Georgia kind of thing for me. So
okay.
Like I do really like Georgia. They're just kind of my like if they're playing, I'll cheer for them. I don't really have like a specific reason why I like them. I don't know. I like them, so I root for them. I don't need to fucking justify it. So.
No, not at all.
But I think, honestly, I'm probably the most excited for the Alabama-Miami game. I've never seen such big hype for a week 1 game outside, like, other than, like, another, like, top 10 matchup. But I think this is going to be a very good game because there is, like, I'm not even saying this as like a stretch. There is a good possibility Alabama gets upset week 1. And that would throw off their entire fucking season.
I don't believe you, but I'm also like, yeah, that would absolutely throw off their entire season.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I'm very excited to see that one. I really like their quarterback King. He's got such a good energy to him. I was reading that interview that we're going to talk about earlier because he made some comments about the first game, and just reading that kind of lit a fire under my ass. I was like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want, King. I will. You want me to, like, if I were a player reading this, I would be so fired up to go play Alabama. And it's a scary, like, playing Alabama is a scary thing. Like, you should be scared to play Alabama, and if you're not, it's probably because you cocky.
So do you think he's cocky then?
No, I think he's very humble. I think he knows he can do it, but he knows that there's going to be like an extreme amount of effort that needs to be put behind it.
So,
yeah,
like, what
do you want me to just hop?
Yeah, what did he have to say, and why did it impress you? I haven't heard anything about this game. Now, this is because I'm not as
you aren't.
Yeah, I'm really consumed into the NFL preseason, which I can't believe I have to admit that, but I'm so consumed by it that we're even talking about it later on in the show. Till then, though, bring me up to speed on the possibility of an Alabama upset week 1.
I mean, yeah, if you're, I know a few of our listeners do follow college football, so if you're in like the college football realm, you know that this game has been talked about a lot over the last few weeks. But yeah, it's starting to look like a potential week 1 upset for Alabama. King is confident, confident going into week 1 against Alabama. I'm not saying he's confident he's going to win. He's just confident going in to play them, which is a good thing to have. And I think that's what is sort of humbling him, is he's not saying he's going to go in there and blow at Alabama, but he's saying that he's going to go in there and give it everything he's got.
Okay.
And he's admitting he knows what he's up against. But I mean, it also may shock some of our listeners to hear that there's a Miami team that is good.
Yeah.
The Miami University usually, within the past few years at least, has been sitting within the top 10. I mean, much better than probably the Dolphins have been doing in the last few years. But yes, Miami University is like typically within the top 25, top 10 school for college football. And this week 1 win would be the first W the Hurricanes have over a number one team since the 2000s when they beat out Florida State at number one. So there's a lot. It's week one, but there's so much riding on this game for the Hurricanes as an underdog playing Alabama. I'll read a couple of points from the statement from King. He said he thinks there's no better way to open up a season than to verse the best team of the last decade. Obviously, they won that national championship last year. It's a big task. They have a great team, probably the best head coach, which he was hinting at Nick Saban, but he didn't actually say his name. But he's saying he's probably the best head coach of all time. So he knows what he's up against, which is like he's admitting that. He said, I think we're looking forward to the opportunity to go out there and compete against those guys, especially on a neutral site. It's going to be in Atlanta, and there will be thousands of people there. So it's going to be
Why is it in Atlanta?
Actually do a neutral home field for the first. So the Georgia Clemson game is playing on a neutral home field as well. Yeah, it's very interesting how they do that. So yes, typically for like the bigger schools, the first game of the season's on a neutral field.
Wow.
So this one will happen in Atlanta. It's going to have thousands and thousands of people there. They're practicing every day, getting ready to show up for the opportunity and do what they can do. He says he's a very confident guy. He, again, admits it's a big task. One of the best teams in his lifetime in the last decade. He's very excited to play against them, which is another thing I think is good for his mindset. And he also kind of pointed at the preseason rankings, saying like they don't matter after a couple of weeks of the season. So even though they're ranked, I believe, number 14, they're going to go out there and play every week like they're not ranked. And like, again, another thing, that's just the mindset that he has is amazing. So they're going to go out there, give everything they got to win. And it's not even just about winning about Alabama. Even if they lose against Alabama, he said, I'm going to go out there and play like I am fighting for that ranking every time. Like everyone is unranked and you are playing to play and playing to win. So I'm really excited to see him take the field. Miami themselves, they lost their three biggest games last season. They were blown out by Clemson in October and by North Carolina at home in December. Miami lost to North Carolina Coast that cost them the bowl game, so they lost that game and then didn't get to go to the Orange Bowl. They lost 37-34 to Oklahoma in the Cheez-It Bowl in Orlando. So that loss to North Carolina State put them in a different bowl game. So it wasn't one of the higher up bowls. So we know the Orange Bowl. Who the fuck knows what the Cheez-It Bowl is?
Not me.
But if they lose this game to Alabama, it's going to they'll be on a 3-game losing streak entering their home opener on September 11th. So it's really big. They have 4 straight September home games. They're playing Michigan State, Central Connecticut State, and Virginia for the ACC opener at Hard Rock Stadium following the Appalachian State. Winning those games will be crucial for Miami to achieve its goals for 2021, especially keeping up that top, like staying, because I think they said they were 14, but I could see Alabama oh my god, I almost said Oklahoma. Jesus fucking Christ. If Miami wins against Alabama, I think that puts them on a really good track for top 10. Okay. And then, King played previously for the University of Houston for 3 years. I'm unclear about when he was injured, but he, after that, was injured and redshirted his 4th year and then announced that he would be transferring to Miami for his 5th year. So he's a 5th-year senior going into the season. Yeah.
Okay. That's actually super interesting.
He's well seasoned going into his last season. There's so much hype around this game. I am so excited to watch it, like beyond excited. I don't even know if this is playing at the same time as Clemson. I'm not turning it on.
No.
I'll watch the highlights. You heard me say it. I'm going to watch an Alabama game over a Clemson game.
We never thought we'd see that.
But it's to watch them lose. So
it's at 3:30.
So I don't have to miss. I don't have to choose. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think Clemson has the Saturday night game, so there you go. I'll get to watch both. Hopefully, I'll get to watch an Alabama upset followed by a Clemson win. that would be the perfect opening Saturday.
That would be a good opening Saturday. Whereas I just want to see Radler play and win, and then I'm happy. But before I move on, I would like to know, who do you think will win? Not who do you want to win, but who do you think will actually win? Do you think the upset is feasible, or do you think it's one of those where, okay, maybe the hype, the story is getting out of hand or getting a little unrealistic and getting, like sensationalized almost, or like dramatized, because like it could just be Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I don't think that it's being dramatized or like stretched by any means. I do think there is a real possibility that Miami upsets them. If they do, I want to say it's going to be a very close game. Nick Saban knows this is coming. They know that Miami is ready. He's probably obviously seen what King had to say about coming to face them. He's like, I believe Nick Saban was a defensive coach back in his, like, before head coaching. So he will be helping out on the defensive side to stop King for sure. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be very close. Or I don't see one blowing out the other.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a very close game. And that's also, even if it's close and Alabama loses, that's still not good for them.
Oh, yeah. Or you mean if Alabama wins? Yeah. Right. No, they have to blow them out.
But it's funny because if that happens, it's bad for Alabama. But if Miami wins and it's close, that's big for them. It's so annoying.
Yeah, well,
it means winning with a close point spread can mean two completely different things depending on who the opponent is.
Yeah, no. I think our audience remembers that from the last time. I hope.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
Yeah, but in the meantime, of course, with us heading into the upcoming season, we've now seen the AP preseason poll be released. This was on August 16th. So this is official, and I'll give you guys 1 to 10, and then we will post 1 to 25 in the links down below. So number 1 is Alabama. Number 2 is Oklahoma. Number 3 is Clemson. Number 4 is Ohio State. Number 5 is... Sorry?
I said Boomer Sooner, baby.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Oklahoma. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's why I was like, what?
I have my teams.
Yeah.
I took it back.
Because I was going to go with the Ohio State, but...
The Ohio State, sorry. Next go Dogs.
And then number 5 is Georgia. Number 6 is Texas A&M. 7, Iowa State. 8, Cincinnati. 9, Notre Dame. And 10, North Carolina. North Carolina. Goddamn UNC. Boo.
I'm not excited about that.
Yeah. So of these 10...
Especially seeing Oregon sitting at 11, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Just give it to Oregon. I know, like, to be fair, North Carolina probably deserves that spot over Oregon. I just don't like it as a Clemson fan.
Yeah, it's an interesting list. Obviously, I stand by what I said earlier. I'm worried that the Spencer Rattler Oklahoma hype is getting a little too tall. Like, Rattler did technically stumble out of the gate early last season, and I'm not using that as a knock on him by any means, but he's definitely learned a lot over the last year and progressed, and camp's been a little more normal as in comparison to how abnormal it was last year. So at least he's gotten into a nice rhythm with his wide receivers. I'm super pumped for this kid. I cannot wait to watch him play. I'm worried that maybe the first game he's gonna stumble or there's gonna be just a miscue, as what happens just when you're getting back into the thick of things. Like when life is going, or when you're starting to play a sport again in a competitive manner, it's different than any practice or any indoor game can ever replicate. And I mean, want Oklahoma High.
the college, like the coaches do their own poll as well, even though I think some of the coaching staff is in that AP poll. But they do their own poll as well, and they had Clemson higher than Oklahoma. I think it was 2 and 3 still.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't. It's like, is there something they can see that some of these people who are on the AP poll don't see about Spencer Rattler and Oklahoma, that like they don't think they're gonna be up like
it's
like
such
2?
Yeah, it's such a weird thing to talk about because, like, don't get me wrong, I think Rattler's a first rounder. If my team, like, if Mack Jones it filters out or anything, like, I would love Spencer Rattler to be my QB, and whichever team he goes to, I will be rooting for. But I do think Clemson should be above them. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Rattler literally comes out and blows out Tulane and just does everything beautifully, like what is being projected onto him. Hopefully.
Yeah, I tend to agree a bit more with the coaching polls. Like I said, Nate, there's something there that they see in the players that, the presser, because this AP poll is made of like fucking press and media and coaches and analysts and civilians. So it's very opinionated. So that's why I kind of like looking at the coach one as well, because I feel like those opinions have a little more merit behind them. But yeah, it's interesting to go look at. I would definitely encourage our listeners who are interested in college football or following the season to take a look at some of the teams on the top 25. Take a look at how the coaches rank them, how the AP polls rank them. Look at a few
look at our socials.
You look at our socials. We're posting about. I'm usually posting about Clemson. She's usually posting about Oklahoma. So if those are two teams you're interested in, they're usually posting something about them on my story. So yeah, definitely look out for that if you're looking to get into college. I mean, I'm totally open. If DM me if you want to talk about college football. I could talk about college football all day. You don't even have to come in the comments. Come right to me, please. I need more people to talk to college football about. But yeah,
I'm trying.
You are doing much better than you did when I started talking to you about college.
There we go. There we go.
Well, all you have to do is start listening to the podcast I send you.
There you go. I'm slowly but surely. I'm about to have a lot of hours spent in a car, so I got you. Definitely. I will definitely start listening to that when I don't want to listen to my books. Another list that I very much love and very much agree with was also released. I believe it was August 11th, but it hasn't been updated, and I don't anticipate it being updated until after week 1, are the Heisman Trophy odds, which has my boy Spencer Rattler at number 1, followed by your boy for Clemson. Yeah. How do you say your QB's name? DJ
Uiagalelei.
Yep. Followed by number Bryce Young at QB for Alabama at number 3. And then we have CJ Stroud for the QB for Ohio State, number 4, followed by number 5, JT Daniels, who is the QB for Georgia. So not surprising, we have all 5 of the top 5 for Heisman odds are QBs.
So I haven't really done much look into Heisman because obviously it's very early, but are they typically, well, I don't know why I'm asking you a college question. I'm asking you a college question this time. Do you know if they typically only do quarterbacks at the beginning of the season?
No, because like
Heisman contenders?
No, back when you had like Reggie Bush, ironically enough, like some of the, if it's a prolific type player, like Henry, Derrick Henry,
big person. Okay.
Yeah, like I've seen other people fall in the odds for trophies.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. Normally, I see QBs. Like normally, it's all QBs.
It's usually all QBs, but maybe I'm just like a little like shell shocked looking at this list, considering last year it did go to a wide receiver. But I feel like they should still be considered in the early Heisman. Like they shouldn't just be looking at quarterbacks. I think that's what bothers me the most about the Heisman is they really just look at the quarterbacks unless you're like a fucking ridiculous player.
A phenom.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're like again like like Devontae Smith. If you are like him, you are going to win the Heisman over a quarterback. There's no question about it. Like I've said it before on the show, Trevor Lawrence didn't deserve to win the Heisman. Like Smith did. So like that, I'm so happy they gave it to a non-quarterback on top of that too. But where for this list, I think it'll depend how Spencer, DJ, and Bryce do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For that top spot. It's like because like we haven't really seen DJ. We got to see a full season of Spencer last year, and Bryce Young this is his first time starting. So it's like we haven't really seen a lot of Uiagalelei and Young, but we have seen a season of Spencer Rattler playing with Oklahoma. So it's very easy to be like, oh, like it's easy to talk about him being at the top right now because you've seen the most of him, probably him and JT Daniels. But between you and me, I don't think JT Daniels is going to win it.
No, I think it's among the top 3.
Exactly. I also haven't seen, I don't think I watched, no, it wasn't Stout last year, it was Field, so we haven't seen Stout either yet in the starting position. So I do think
he's looked good.
It's going to be a tight race. It's going to be a tight race, if I'm going to do a prediction, tight race between those top 3, Spencer, DJ, and Bryce. And then I think it's going to be like a miracle kind of rabbit out of the hat comes out at the last minute for like JT Daniels and CJ Stroud.
Okay.
Or Strode. There's no R in that. Stroud.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's more of a long shot for those bottom 2, but I think it's going to be a very tight-knit race for those top 3. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a breakout wide receiver or running back that ends up on this list mid-season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And if that happens, we'll absolutely update our fans, our listeners. But before we actually end the show, I know we don't want to get in the habit of doing this. However, I thought, and you thought as well, and
I did
subsequently agreed, that it would be important to touch on a couple NFL updates and topics because the preseason's still underway. Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh my God. I'm so mad we couldn't put this on the last show, but I can't. Will I be able to say it without laughing?
I don't know.
Tim Tebow was released from the Jags. If you're following NFL preseason, you probably already knew that, but it's definitely worth mentioning. First we predicted, oh my God, there's going to be a lot of people coming back to play tight end, and after Tim Tebow dropping, I don't know how many left of them I can expect to actually make it to the season.
Well, did you watch the video release? Like the videos or the clips from his game that went viral? Like the dude missed so many blocks. Like I'm not surprised, and I wouldn't be shocked to hear of some other big name people getting cut from their current rosters, and that's because we're actually in the final lead up to the start of the regular season where squads actually have to be trimmed down from 80 men to 53, and we're going to see a lot of cuts, and clearly this experiment didn't work out. It kind of sucks to see for Tebow, but at the end of the day, he wasn't good enough to play tight end, and he should have made the switch 5 years ago before he went to play professional baseball.
If he had made the switch while he was still relevant in the league, like if he didn't leave to go play baseball and then leave baseball and then come back, I think he would have had a way better chance at like actually playing the full season. Like he didn't even make it to the season start. They've like completely cut him. He played one game and they're like, yeah, this is a bad idea.
Absolutely. And I feel bad for him though. I do feel bad for him.
I don't. I was excited. I was excited for him, but after seeing how he played, he fucking deserved to get cut. I'm sorry if that's harsh, but he did not look like he was meant to be out on that field. And he could have gotten, like, you could get injured missing blocks and shit too, right? Like, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're going to get hit sideways.
Or, more importantly to them, Trevor Lawrence would get absolutely obliterated if Tebow was covering his blind side. And then I wanted to actually talk about a very interesting tweet that I came across earlier this morning. And so it's basically 5 quarterback battles that we're currently watching play out in preseason. and I'm going to tell you the competition, who's between who, and I want you to tell me who you think the week 1 starter will be. Who is the starter week 1?
We're gonna do these. You're gonna do them one at a time. Like,
yep, I'm gonna just tell you I'm gonna tell you the 2 QBs. You tell me who you think's who you think's going to start, and then I will let you know who I think will start. And then I will take note of this, and we'll come back to it at the end of week 1. All right, this friendly competition.
Right.
Yeah, friendly competition, and we'll figure out what the winner gets in. Yeah,
let's go.
So we just watched preseason week 2, so there is one more preseason game to go. So barring injuries, we're gonna assume this is a healthy quarterback battle. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So number 1 is Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock for the Denver Broncos. Who starts?
I would say Bridgewater.
You say Bridgewater? I would agree with you there, actually. So we're both the same.
I haven't watched too much of Broncos preseason, but from what I'm hearing and like highlights that I'm seeing and stuff, my opinion has been formed that Bridgewater would start.
Yeah, I would agree. Number 2, it is Trey Lance or Jimmy G.
I gotta give this one to Jimmy G. I think it's safer to start him and then maybe throw in Trey Lance if he's not doing too well, if they're losing or something like that. But yeah, considering how, like Trey Lance laid out that, was it like an 80-yard pass or something? It was nice, but the rest of the game was a bit iffy for him. So I would say Jimmy G.
Yeah, he absolutely needs a little more just time. Like, I don't think he doesn't play at all this season. I do think they go to him eventually. But why throw him in there if he's not seeing the field the way you're hoping he sees the field? So I agree with you there. Now I do.
Vet that's not injured. He's not seeing ghosts. He can play properly. Was at the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So, like, I think it's the safe option to just give it to Jimmy G. Like, there's no question.
Yeah. So number 3, we have Taysom Hill or Jimmy Winston.
I think I want to say Taysom Hill.
Okay, this is where we're gonna differ. I think it's gonna be Winston.
Okay.
Why do you think Hill? What? Just briefly, obviously.
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay.
I think I'm just guessing in the dark here. This is for the Saints, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. I think Hill's the older quarterback too, right?
I don't actually know.
I'm just trying to think about, like, I think Hill is more seasoned. I think he would. I don't know. I just picked him.
No, that's fair. I think it's gonna be Winston. Assuming.
Why do you think it's gonna be Winston?
Yeah.
Maybe I can get some insight here.
No, I think it's just because at the end of the day, Hill isn't a quarterback. I know they say he is, and I know he wants to be. I think he's their Swiss Army knife. He's the jack of all trades. He's the one that's good at everything, but not great at anything. Nothing against Hill, and maybe they do want him to start. I figure if he was the starter, he would be named the starter. Like, he would be absolutely already named the starter, and Winston would be only taking second team reps. I think we have a QB battle on hand, and I think it goes to Winston because he has the better arm, he has the better vision, and he is terrible with interceptions. If he keeps the interceptions down, he brings.
That's why I didn't pick him. I'm like, there's a fucking reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the freaking interception king.
Absolutely. Now he did keep it down last season, so it'll be interesting to see. I don't think you're wrong per se. I think it might go to Winston.
It's gonna be a close one. For
yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Like, it's very hard I'm not surprised we have different opinions on this
Yeah.
one. But yes, now that I actually think about it, it's because I know Winston as the interceptor. So
Exactly.
I think it's, I don't know, just a safer thing for me to say Hill. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I didn't really put much thought into it anyways.
For sure, for sure. So number 4, it's Andy Dalton or Justin Fields. We're going to put an asterisk on this one, say that Justin Fields is healthy after that helmet hit from earlier on. Who do you think starts?
Here's my problem. I'm going, like, my answer is going to be Dalton.
Yeah.
They promised him he would start, and then they went and picked up Justin Fields, rookie quarterback, highly ranked draft pick. Do I think it's the smartest decision for them to let Dalton start? Absolutely fucking not. I don't think they'll do that to him, though. I know you think they will. I do not think they'll do that to Andy Dalton. And you know what? I'd be kind of heartbroken if they did that to Andy Dalton. Like, Justin Fields has so many more years ahead of him to start a football game. It's not going to kill the Bears to let Andy Dalton start this one season that they promised him. It's going to suck because they're not going to be great, but I'm saying Andy Dalton specifically on that promise. If they didn't have that promise in place, I would 100% say Fields.
Yeah, so I initially wrote down Fields, and I'm all for Fields. My thing is if they are a bad team, it will be Dalton to start because there's no sense putting Fields behind that O-line and risk an injury.
Exactly.
But Dalton has been playing terribly this postseason or preseason. It feels like.
Wasn't I texting you yet? Was it yesterday?
Yeah,
no, not yesterday. I was whenever they were playing this past weekend. I was like, I am laughing at this every time he did something bad. I was laughing because I'm just like they have Fields. He's kind of injured right now. I'm like he's right there. But I think what'll happen is they'll let Dalton start the game, but he won't ever maybe finish a game. I have a feeling that the season is going to be a very half and half, but I think they're going to Dalton's going to be the quote unquote starter, and then maybe they'll let Justin Fields start a game or two against another team that won't destroy his offensive line and sack him.
Yeah, for sure. And then finally, I'm going to end off with the Patriots QB battle because I'm living this in the best way. Like, I'm enjoying this so much more than I thought I would. The search for our next future quarterback, it's just fun. I don't necessarily...
I'm kind of mad that you're enjoying this. I was hoping Patriots fans were going to suffer for a little bit, and now they're just given this fucking pool of quarterbacks. Like, you want Cam or do you want Mack? Like, they're both... I mean, I know comparably, like, obviously we could say Mack is probably the better quarterback, but just the fact that you have those two to choose from is fucking annoying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm very blessed. It's
You're not denying it.
Oh yeah, no. Like the Patriots fans got lucky here. Like even if Mack Jones busts in the long run, it's still exciting right now, and we're getting excitement way too early for what we just got privilege of living through the past 2 decades. Like it feels almost too soon for us. That's why I'm like waiting for the other shoe to drop or like be like if Mack Jones were this good, why didn't he get taken sooner? Like, why was he passed on? But anyways, giving it away. Obviously, the final QB battle is Cam Newton versus Mack Jones. Who do you think starts?
Well, I was gonna say something about why he was picked so low first, and I truly think it's just because it was a big pool of quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and Trey, like we talked before, I think like Trey Lance fits better in San Fran. Although, like we said last episode, he played better than Trey Lance, but Trey Lance is at a spot where he can grow and be molded by Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Mack Jones doesn't necessarily need that, especially coming out of an Alabama program, right? So I think that's why people are kind of passing on him because well, like the Jags obviously needed someone right off the fucking bat, so they took Trevor Lawrence, number one, done. But then it came to San Fran, and they didn't like. It was just where the pieces fell with the other teams. I don't think it was necessarily people disvaluing Mac. I think it was just what the teams needed wasn't
for sure.
what Mac Jones had to give them. But I mean, I originally said when you asked me this question earlier today that I think Cam was going to start. But that opinion has since changed. And I'm going to put my official answer as Mac. I think he starts the first game.
Okay, so wait, do you change your answer if I tell you I may have changed mine? Okay, so let's fill in the listeners.
God, are you switching it again?
Yeah, so when I first saw this tweet, I messaged Chelsea literally immediately. It was like, it felt like it was as soon as I woke up at like 5, but it was probably around 7 in the morning. I texted you.
We're early birds.
And yeah, going to school that early sucks. So thanks for responding. But when I first saw it, I was like, this makes complete sense. I think it was going to, I'm on the fence. It could go either way. I just think Mac Jones fits the Patriots system better, therefore might as well jump to him. However, Miami.
Tua versus Mac.
Yeah.
If it's Miami, I think they put Mac Jones in.
It is the Dolphins. I was right. Yes. But
I would like it on record, though. I originally said Cam.
No, for sure. No. And I'll give you the chance to change it if you want.
Technically, I don't know. Because was that other tweet you sent me earlier about losing your job because you're not vaccinated also about Cam?
Yeah, let me get there.
That's why I'm confused.
And so, without confusing the listeners, it was,
I'll stop
then I sent you a tweet following up on the fact that, Cam and Mac Jones are both playing well, therefore you start Cam. He has more experience, you start him. Then I sent you a tweet that then followed that up that Cam is now missing Patriots practice for 5 days due to a mistake with the COVID protocol. So it's like it is being placed on the team. Like the teams the Patriots are at fault for it in the sense that they just they didn't know that the information they were giving him was incorrect. And this also confirms that, yes, Cam Newton is not vaccinated because these types of protocols only exist for unvaccinated players. So he will be back in time to practice before the final preseason game against the Giants. He is unvaccinated. Why take the risk? So then I followed up with, this is why I think Mac Jones would start then, because we know Mac Jones is vaccinated, and why risk, like, we've talked about this earlier on. Yeah, if we had talked about this earlier on, if it comes down to a player who is vaccinated versus a player who isn't vaccinated, a team should go with the vaccinated player there because it's less risk to expose your team, to have to forfeit a game, for your owner to have to pay millions of dollars to their team. I just thought they would go Mac Jones. But now I'm like, well, that running game that we saw, if you watch the preseason Patriots game, their run game looks like something I have not seen in a very long time.
Yeah,
the last time, Stevenson.
Little guy
the last time I've seen this type of run game, it was the bus in the Steelers, right? So while the Patriots don't have someone who is Jerome Bettis, who is that all imposing player, they have 4 guys that are all down backs. You have James White, you have Stevenson, you have
White was the other one who did really well.
Yeah, you have even Sony Michel looks great back there. And they have another guy that's right now like fighting for a roster spot, and I do forget his name currently, but he showed up. Like, the Patriots are going to go run first type game, and that's why I'm back to like, ooh. You start Cam then, because think about how crazy that offense will be if you're not sure if it's White getting the ball in a pass, White getting the ball from shotgun, Cam taking it to run. Oh, are you gonna have Stevenson coming out and having White? Is it going pass? Is it going run, Cam run? Is it going like running back run? Is it going throw? Like Cam Newton's throw has looked good, right?
Y'all just got super unpredictable there. I'm not excited about it at all anymore.
Because think about the wide receivers. Like you have Aguilar now. You have the guy who used to play for the Dolphins. Like I'm super pumped for this offense. Then the 2 tight ends they pulled up. Then on defense we have finally a solid front 7 back with Hightower playing again. Kyle Van Noy's back. I can't wait. So if it's a win now mentality, I think it's Cam. I think you start Cam.
I will give it to the Pats for a good rebuild. From what I've seen in the preseason, I wish you could see how wide my eyes got when you were listing off all of the players, and then on top of that, you have players so good they're fighting for a roster spot. Like that's how insane it is. That's how it is scary how good the Pats organization is with their cap space and what they can get and what they can do with it. I'm fucking pissed off.
No, don't get me wrong though. Like your team looks good. Like I just listed off a giant offense, but like
last year I wasn't concerned about the Patriots. This year I am very concerned about the Patriots. For losing to them. Like not concerned for them. I'm concerned for myself my team going against them. But I think after the news I got today and seeing how well Mack is doing, I'm gonna say Mack.
Okay.
Starts.
I'm gonna go with Cam.
Okay.
But I do think neither of us I think both are good picks. Like I genuinely don't think
that last one earlier today, Milton had said Mac and I had said Cam, and now we're on completely different sides of the spectrum. That's hilarious.
Yeah, but with that, I think that's all the updates we have for the NFL for this week. There will be tons of them next week as preseason wraps up.
Those little tidbits in there, but that's all we have for this college episode. Short but sweet. I'm again super excited for that Miami Alabama game. I'll definitely keep our socials updated about that game. If I throw it on the TV, we'll do something for it for sure, because I'm hella excited for it. But yeah, let us know in the comments if you'll be following the college football season this year, and if so, which teams or players you're really excited to see or you're going to root for. We really want to hear your hot takes on on the new college season. So if you have any of those as well, drop them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, share, rate, and review the show. Our podcast is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can watch the show on our YouTube. Sorry you can't see my face this week, but hopefully my camera decides to work for the next one. And you can also listen to the show and get updates on our website, primetimedimes.com. And we'll be back next week with some more NFL preseason chats. See ya!
Peace!
Listen in to Primetime Dimes every Wednesday for your latest on football.